Tonight, a silent predator is waiting in the dark. It doesn't cost millions, it doesn't make a sound, but it is about to change the entire course of the war. Russia believed this multi-billion-dollar air defense shield was completely impenetrable. In just 10 seconds, it became a burning graveyard of twisted metal. They were Moscow's ultimate weapons of mass destruction, safely guarded inside an iron fortress. But tonight, they never even got the chance to take off.
In this video, we deep dive into the shocking reality, modern warfare, completely vaporized. Tonight, we reveal how 25 cheap drones completely blinded and vaporized Russia's most impenetrable airbase. Watch closely, the files are open.
03:45 hours local time. While the rest of the world was wrapped in a deep and silent slumber, inside a highly classified and obscured base in Odessa, Ukrainian drone crews were meticulously preparing for a massive covert operation. Their ultimate and most critical objective lay exactly 190 miles away on the Crimean Peninsula, the heavily fortified Saki Air Base. This high-security airfield served as the primary stronghold for the 43rd Naval Attack Aviation Regiment of the Russian Black Sea Fleet.
It was here that Russia stationed its most modern and formidable assets, including the lethal Sukhoi Su-30 fighter jets.
But in less than an hour, the strategic reality of this entire air defense network was bound to shift forever. To destroy the very warplanes Russia proudly labeled as the world's finest, Ukraine chose a deeply unconventional path. Instead of relying on multi-million-dollar Western missiles, they deployed their cheapest and most lethal creation, the homegrown kamikaze UAVs. At exactly 0352 hours local time, the Ukrainian commander authorized the final command to launch the strike wave. In the blink of an eye, the first AN-196 Luteus drone shot forward off the rail, piercing the cold night sky.
Within seconds, the drone surged to a cruising speed of 110 miles per hour, stabilizing its trajectory through the dark atmosphere.
At precise 30-second intervals, the remaining 24 drones took flight, forming a calculated line of destruction heading southeast. The moment the launch phase concluded, the Ukrainian operators immediately cut all power and shut down their systems. Activating thermal scent sensor blocking measures, they silently withdrew along pre-planned escape routes. They knew all too well that if the Russian military intercepted their signals, heavy artillery strikes would level the launch zone within minutes.
Meanwhile, the swarm dropped to a razor-thin altitude of just 240 feet above the restless water, slicing across the Black Sea.
Cruising silently through the pitch-black sky, these minimal radar cross-sections completely blinded the Russian coastal observation networks. Eventually, a cluster of highly unstable and weak signals flickered momentarily on the outer edges of the Russian defense displays. The tracking profile was deeply anomalous, far too slow to be cruise missiles, yet far too low to be recognized as conventional fighter jets. Reacting to the anomaly, the duty crew instantly routed the tracking coordinates directly to the command hub of the S-400 Triumph network. On paper, Moscow viewed the S-400 Triumph as an absolute, impenetrable shield, capable of locking down the entire Crimean airspace. Armed with ultra-advanced 48 N6E3 interceptor missiles, the system could eliminate targets up to 150 miles away at extreme altitudes. But the cruel reality of the modern theater of war values structural geography far over advertised system performance specifications. Flying right above the crests of the waves, the incoming swarm effectively weaponized the Earth's curvature, cloaking themselves inside the chaotic radar ground clutter. To overwhelm the defense processors, the 25 drones split into multiple independent vectors, fracturing the tracking grid. As the long-range S-400 struggled to prioritize targets, Russia activated its secondary tactical defense layer, the Buk M3 missile battery.
Optimized specifically for low-flying threats, the Buk M3 was formidable, but the core obstacle was no longer fire range, it was sheer reaction time.
Brace for impact!
The combat crew required a minimum of 6 critical seconds just to confirm target telemetry, rotate the launchers, and commit to a firing solution. Moving at 110 miles per hour, the Ukrainian drones were shrinking that operational safety window down to a razor-thin margin of survival. Before the automatic defense dose tracking could fully resolve the trajectory algorithms, the window closed shut, leaving the perimeter entirely exposed. At exactly 04:48 hours local time, the first catastrophic impact detonated, directly on top of the S-400 fire control radar hub.
The core observational eye of the absolute defense fortress was instantly paralyzed at its most highly vulnerable location. Exploiting the total tracking blackout, the remaining strike drones seamlessly corrected their vectors toward the exposed flight line of Saki Air Base. Motionless on the concrete tarmac, these advanced warplanes ceased to be symbols of absolute air power, turning into exposed masses of fuel and ordnance. Utilizing electro-optical thermal sensors, the drones accurately singled out the warm engine blocks and refueling infrastructure.
The kamikaze warheads initiated a violent chain reaction, ripping across the parking zones and melting the airframes instantly. This strategic hit severely degraded the Kremlin's logistical capability to orchestrate air operations across the entire Crimean theater. In a frantic counter-response at 04:52 hours, desperate Buk M3 crews launched supersonic interceptors into the cloud cover. Although interceptors zipped through the formations at Mach 3.88, the vast dispersal of the incoming vectors rendered proximity fragmentation ineffective. As the automated systems repeatedly lost acquisition tracks, a second specialized wave of drones zeroed in on the base's main fuel infrastructure. At exactly 05:04 hours, 6 penetrating warheads breached the primary fuel storage rings, completely splitting open the high-pressure supply systems. Thousands of gallons of volatile jet fuel turned into a sweeping, uncontainable river of fire across the main logistics roads. The resulting smoke columns divided the entire facility into isolated sectors, leaving emergency response units entirely trapped and helpless. Headquarters statistics could claim a high interception rate of 12 downed targets, but the harsh floor reality of war is not decided by paperwork. If only a handful of strike vectors navigate the perimeter successfully, an absolute tactical asset can be reduced to a smoldering graveyard. In a last-ditch defensive response, the Russian military deployed the heavy Krasuka 4 electronic warfare array to completely flood the communications frequencies. Yet the AN-196 structures did not depend on active data links. Their internal inertial guidance modules kept them locked perfectly on their trajectories. Using automated optical shape-matching algorithms, they seamlessly discarded the surrounding decoys, fixing onto the absolute core of the base, the main operations headquarters. At exactly 05:11 hours, 3 heavy penetrating configurations smashed clean through the main infrastructure core. The resulting internal detonations instantly incinerated the encryption rigs, local air defense servers, and data coordination hubs.
Reception! Come in! Saki Airfield was no longer just burning!
Saki Airfield, it was completely isolated, blind, and functionally severed from the wider defensive framework. The broader long-term strategic damage was severe. 4 major reinforced hangars were flattened, along with the complete loss of advanced Sukhoi assets. Concurrently, 2 close-range Panzer S-1 protection units were successfully taken out, completely wearing down the tactical defense layers. The offensive cut deep into public infrastructure as well, knocking out the primary electrical substation in Sevastopol, plunging the hub into a total blackout. In modern military conflicts, losing power and coordination is equivalent to fighting blind. The entire Crimean observation grid was severely fractured. It provided undeniable proof of the efficiency of swarm warfare, where low-cost configurations pull advanced networks into total processing failure. The operational reality sent a loud and clear message. This region is no longer an untouchable zone. When an adversary is consistently forced to pull back key air defense components to protect their rear, their operational momentum slows down significantly.
What are your analytical thoughts on this strategic swarm drone offensive? Will this push the theater toward a new dynamic? Leave your insights in the comments.
Strategy and numbers a multi-billion-dollar shield. Hit subscribe for more tactical breakdowns, and I'll see you in the next briefing.